Hi, welcome to Sheepish, episode 54. Today is Saturday, August 18th, 2015, and I'm Holly. How is everybody? I hope you guys are doing well. I am busy, of course, but doing well. Work has been a lot lately. It seems like we've got more and more webinars going on each week, and when I'm not at work, I am teaching, which is a good thing. Happy. I love teaching, so yay. One thing to announce, I will be going up to Maryland Sheep and Wool, so if you are going to be at Maryland Sheep and Wool and you see me, stop me and say hi. I will have buttons with me. I don't know if anybody's going to actually want a button, but you know, I'll have buttons. I will be going up with Michelle on Saturday. And that is the first weekend in May, so I'll be going up with her on Saturday, and friends from Maine are coming down to see us, or really coming down to see Sheep and Wool, but we like to say it's us. Yes, Monica and Christine and Heather from the Fibre Files, they are coming down, and so we get to show them Maryland Sheep and Wool. Hopefully we'll get to see them. I don't know how much or anything, but hopefully we'll see each other. We'll get to hang, have some good food. It'll be good to see them, you know, before October. I know it'll be weird and it'll be awesome. So yeah, Maryland Sheep and Wool. I do not know if I'm going to be able to go up on Sunday. That Sunday, I have a class scheduled at 4 at Fiberspace. And if that class does not go, if nobody signs up for it, then yes, I will go up on Sunday. Because I hear that Assembly Fruit might be up there and I want to see her. But if the class is a go, I could theoretically go up in the morning, like early in the morning, and come back down and make it like a quick thing. But honestly, I probably won't. We'll see. I get hyper nervous about trying to get places and be places on time. Which I guess is a good thing. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll see. If you are going to Maryland Sheep and Wool, definitely plan your trip. Michelle and I have already started planning out what we want to do at the fairgrounds, but we're also planning on how to get up there, because if you've never been to Maryland Sheep and Wool, if you've been to Maryland Sheep and Wool, this is old hat for you, and you're like, whatever, I got this. But if you've never been to Maryland Sheep and Wool, traffic getting into the fairgrounds can be horrendous, and it starts early. So if you want to get there early, you need to leave super early. There is a back way into the fairgrounds that I can never remember how to get to. That's probably going to be just as congested, but we'll see. But yeah, so I'm so excited. I am actually going to Sheep and Wool with the idea of not spending a whole lot. We'll see. Mostly, because I mean, I love going. I love the sheep. The sheeps. There are a few places that I definitely want to go and I will purchase, but there's nothing on, other than those few places, there's nothing else on that list that I'm like, oh, I must have right this second. So we'll see. We'll see how that works. Really, I kind of want to just go and see the people, because there are people coming down for this, people I haven't seen in like a year. So yeah. So yeah, that's Maryland. So on that note, let's go ahead and just jump right in with what's on the current roster. Currently, if you've been following me on Instagram, you've seen a lot of this already. And when I say a lot, it's not like it's all that much. A lot of the same. So first up, living in my little skein in the big wool bag, the owls bag, because I love owls, is my second story tee. Oh, wow, that just went really yellow. That's a little closer. Okay, the color is somewhere in between this greeny green and that really blue color. I mean, this is closer. This is being knit out of Hempathy, Elspeth Levold's Hempathy, in color think it's 55, I don't know. Fiberspace calls it Paris Green. I am getting a smaller gauge than the pattern indicates because Hempathy is a lying yarn. There's no way it's DK. It really is a sport. But I'm knitting the largest size, and that should give me just enough wiggle room. But yeah, it's coming along. This is still the back. I am about 16 or 17 inches in, maybe a little farther. It's been a little while since I've worked on this. I do need to knit the back to about 28 inches. We'll see. Once I hit about 23 inches, I'll start holding it up and seeing if I really do want to knit it that long. It's a hemp cotton modal blend, so it is going to drape and stretch. So we'll see. We'll see, but that's going along nicely. I am getting ready to join in the 4th ball of yarn, so yay. It's definitely had its issues in the whole just keeping the ribbing straight. Usually I'm really good though about catching it in that row, the row that the mistakes made so far. Knock on my desk. So there is that. Then I have been knitting. I took a picture of this. This is Bags by Jessalou. It's a bag that I ordered from her a couple of Christmases ago. Something like that. Because, hi, it's the Grinch. I had to have it. But it's also huge and is holding a whole lot of partial balls. Now, I could have sworn I had more than this, but whatever. So I am currently working on, and I decided to pull it out because I put it on Instagram yesterday, my sock yarn blanket. So these are all scraps of yarn, and I can tell you what each of them are, or at least what they were from. And no, not all the projects that they were from are on Rav, or have pictures. Like this one's on Rav. It's Hazel Knits. I used it for the Calais shawl. Never took pictures of it. Actually, don't even know where that one is. This was used. This is the unknown yarn that was used for my Doctor Who inspired cowl, my Albers. That is Koigu that I haven't used in a project, and that I was just like, okay, it's pretty. This was also Neighborhood Fiber Company that was used in my Albers. This is Unwind. This is Unwind Yarn Company. I forget what the color is, but this is from the Two Crafty Girls Yarn Club that is no longer around. This is a sample skein of Solar Flare fibers, or a mini skein that I got at, or no, that's not Solar Flare. That is, oh no, this is Friday Studios. That's right. I gave away my Solar Flare to Michelle. Because I already had the yarn. Okay, so this is Friday Studios. I don't know what base it is, but that was from the Highlands on the Fly retreat, the first year. This is coming out really, really dark teal. Yeah. It's much brighter. It's a lot greener in real life, and this is Neighborhood Fiber Company. It's her single. I cannot remember what the single's called for the life of me, but you know. This is oh, I can see it. The colorway is Ginny, because it was, but oh, and of course I've forgotten what the name of the company is. I know that the person who owns the company, her name is Danny. I can tell you everything about the company, and I will remember it promptly when I stop recording. This is also Neighborhood Fiber Company, and again, you can see that it's purple, purpley pinky. And this is Studio Sock in the 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue colorway. This is, oh goodness, what I knit my very first brickless out of. The colorway is Condescending Wonka. It is not Yarn Nerd. She's not dying anymore. I follow her on Instagram. Darn it. Again, one that I will find, and if I can remember it, I'll put it in the show notes. This is another Koigu colorway that I actually got because I was going to do a shawl with the striping those two. Opted to never do it. So that's a Koigu. This is Miss Babs in the Ansel colorway for Ansel Adams. And that's the Toasty Toes, so it was like kind of a mini. This is Ella Ray Lace Merino, again used in the Albers cowl, so these were used in the Albers cowl. And then this is Skein, I believe it's the top draw sock. It's really soft and squishy and lovely. So there's that, and then finally, before I forget, my big square is Jinx Yarns in the Strong Sock, and that is the House Cup colorway that I just did those House Cup socks out of. This was my knitting for playoffs, for game 2 of the playoffs last night. I'll tell that story in a bit. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw the story already. And then I've done a couple more squares. I'm just kind of doing squares as I see. And yeah. So this is 3 Irish Girls in the McClellan base. And it was a one-off colorway, or not a one-off. It was a special colorway that she did. And do I have it in here? Of course I don't. But it was a special colorway that she did. Like something like Cloudy Skies, I don't know. But it's beautiful. And I love this. And I use this to test knit. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Come on, focus. No. So I used this to knit a shawl ages ago. I couldn't even tell you what shawl. I know it was a Kirsten Kapoor shawl. I think it was one that I test knit. Maybe not. Maybe it was another one. But it was a Kirsten Kapoor shawl. Then this is, I believe, hedgehog fibers. I could be wrong. But this was what I knit my Bow Ties Are Cool socks out of. And then this is some Into the World Mercy Hardigan colorway. So yeah, I've got that. I've got a few more full skeins in here. A few partials. I've got some minis that I'm going to use. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. It's going to be a slow process. I'm not doing a square a day, although it would be nice if I could. If I could kind of get up the energy to do that. But I'm doing some whenever I can. Like last night, I whipped out a couple of squares on top of that one. And I did most of this square during the game. Yeah, I think I started off on this square, like right, I guess a couple rows in. And yeah, I knit the rest of this. Now that's where the caps, where my finger is right there, that's where the caps decided to actually start playing. Yeah. They started to listen well just as I was finishing up Hufflepuff and going into Slytherin. Anyway, and so finally on the needles, this is something I haven't worked on in a little bit. I'm still counting it as on the needles. It's kind of in hibernation because I've been working on other things like the second story tee, and I really want to get some work done on that. And I was working on the socks as well. But this is a big blob, and it's looking very, very gray. This is some Mad Tosh 80-10-10 fingering that I got when I was part of the sweater club the first time I joined. And I have an obscene amount of this. So yeah, this is the sketchbook colorway, I believe. And depending on the light, like right here, it looks very gray. But if I move over here, you can see that it's starting to take on some purple. So it kind of depends on where I'm at. Where it was before I grabbed it and brought it over here, it was looking very gray. So it's kind of like a purpley gray. It's dark. I've got a ton of it. And it is actually being used to knit the, I believe it's Audrey cardigan. Let's see. Yes, Audrey by Jane Richmond. And that's not going to give away anything. So it's a lot of garter stitch. Probably not the smartest thing in the world that I've done, but it is actually kind of mindless. It just takes a while to get around across each row because, hi, I'm not small. So that's kind of on hiatus right now. As I work on it, I'll pull it out and show you guys, but I wanted to at least admit to that. Oh, yeah, and before I forget, something else that I cast on because of the Into the Wool knit along. Whoops, excuse me, as I come really close. I am part of the Highland Handmaids Color Study Club, which every month we explore a new color. And so I got my March yarn. Is lovely. I know, right? And that's still coming out really kind of blue. It's like this beautiful light green going into teal, blue. Oh, it's gorgeous. And if I can find my tag, which of course I can't because that would mean that I was prepared, right? It's a good thing you like me, right? Right now, as of right now, that's going to be the Molly Brown socks. So I actually bought this pattern ages ago on Ravelry. You can see they're kind of heavily cabled. And the cables, okay, that's really not showing up well. Okay, a little better, but still not so much. Come on. Are you going to focus? No, of course not. But the cables actually mimic the grand staircase on the Titanic. Now, for those of you who don't know who Molly Brown is, if you've seen the movie Titanic, she was played by Kathy Baker. Right? Right? Yeah. Anyway, the American in the cast, other than Leonardo DiCaprio, Kathy Bates. Wow, Kathy Baker, somebody different completely. But yeah, Kathy Bates. So she survived the Titanic sinking. She moved west with her, yeah. She's actually forced to be reckoned with, and if you look her up, which I encourage you to, yeah. So we're gonna try this. We're gonna try this. I am this far in. I honestly cast on the other day just to show you guys. Okay, really? I think I am gonna have to go back to using my old camera instead of the one that's on here because this doesn't focus. Not well, at least. Like, you can see that there's something here. I don't know. We'll see. Yes, as you can see, I'm still using this. You still get to see all of that. Sorry. So that's pretty much it for what's on the current roster. I do have something that's on the alumni roster, but I left it upstairs. So hang on a second. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Thank you guys for waiting as I get settled. So joining the alumni roster is my debaser shawl. Yay! This was knit for the first knit along for the Into the Wool retreat. Oh, I forgot to talk. I'll talk about that later. But this is done out of some hand spun. My first time ever knitting with my hand spun. So from this black bit to this light green here, that's all the hand spun from my very first loop bat that I spun. I know, right? I ran out of yarn. I knew I was going to because I made this larger. Now, by larger, this is not a large shawl. Yeah. if I do this and turn around, that's as far as it goes. Like, I can't tie it. It's kind of impractical, honestly. It's beautiful and I love it. I love how it looks, but even like this, it's really impractical. It won't stay. It's not long enough. Like, the arms are not long enough on this. This is where probably a Tix trinket would be really helpful, and I need to find where mine are. But even so, it, like, when I had it like this, so it would come around to here, it's right up on my neck. So, but it's done. It was worth a point. I ran out of yarn here, so there we go. You can see the colors. So that's the last bit of the green. So I pulled out the Mad Tosh Vintage that I had used for my hero, and I used that. And it kind of looks like it was intentional, so yay. Yay me. I've still got ends to weave in. I'll get to those when I get to them. I would absolutely knit this again, but I would definitely tell you, if you want to knit this, knit it bigger. I actually knit by accident, but which was fine because I was going to make it bigger anyway. This area before you get to the lace, I did double what they asked, and it's still this. The yarn that they call for is a worsted twin Aran weight, and they actually say to use it on 8s. 8s and 10s, 10s for the lace, so it's bigger and it'll block out a little bit more. Since mine kind of went between a worsted and an Aran, I went ahead and I knit this on 9s. I knit the body on 9s and the lace on 10.5s. Yeah, I thought that was going to buy me a little bit more because it looks like it's a small shawl, like a shawlette. It's a shawlette. You know, who knows? It's beautiful. I would knit it again, but I would probably quadruple the length of the center and see if I could actually do like 2 repeats of the lace or something. When I ran out of yarn, or when I was close to running out, I was trying to make that final decision. For the amount of yarn I had, I made the right decision. But I would, to have gone ripped back, I would have taken out 22 stitches, and to have gone forward, I would have had to do 22 more stitches to get another full repeat. So what's done is done, but that is that. It's beautiful. I got to knit with my hand spun. It softened up a little bit in the washing process, not a whole heck of a lot. I suspect that it will have to be worn and beat up a little bit more. I'm probably not going to wear it. I mean, I tried styling it a ton of different ways. I could wear it as a kerchief. No? No. So that's all that was added to the alumni roster. I have not been spinning. I really want to pull out my wheel at some point, either this week or next week, and do a little bit of spinning for a number of reasons. A, just because I want to, but B, I can count spinning towards the 3rd knit along. And so let's go ahead and take us into what's making me happy this week. I am going to the Into the Wool retreat in Crossville, Tennessee in September. And part of that is that we've been divided into houses, teams, houses, whatevs, and we knit for points. And so I got 1 point in the first knit along because I finished that, and I finished it just before it was due. And the second knit along is to knit, if you watch Wendy Silly Frew, if you watch her podcast, Sassy Pants Knitter, she has done for the last few years a knit along for hats for Grammy. And she has people knit hats and send them to her. She donates them to her Grammy's church, because her Grammy used to do it, and they're given to the homeless. I believe they're given to the homeless, men, women, children, and so that's knit along too. And I'm going to be working on a few of those here and there until the retreat. But knit along 3, we have to knit, spin, crochet, or weave using project bags, fiber, yarn, accessories, whatever, from any of the vendors at the retreat and the sponsors. So I have plans. So this is Highland Handmaids. Highland Handmaids is a sponsor. Woot woot. Also, I have a metric crap ton of fiber from Heather. Yay. I don't know if you remember the Flight of the TARDIS yarn that I spun. I think I spun the first bobbin at Highlands on the Fly last year, and I got started with the second bobbin, and then I 2-plied them. I need to recount how much yardage I have. I think it's 600. I could be wrong. Anyway, but I need to find something for that. I'm thinking a shawl, maybe the Age of Brass and Steam, because it looks like that's a pretty easy one to make bigger if I need to. If you guys have any suggestions on shawls for a multicolor yarn that would look good, you know, I mean, and multicolor being like blue, brown, gold, different shades of blue. I would love it. Put them in the show notes, put them in the comments in the show notes, or down below if you're on YouTube, or post them to the comment thread on Ravelry, because I'll be posting that in the group. I would love any feedback that you have on that. But yeah, I'm hoping to do a lot of spinning and knock some braids of fiber out, so that way I can get some points for my house, because I really kind of blew it on the points for the first knit along. But get some points for my house, and have some fun and turn some of this fiber into yarn. Then I have to knit with it, but that's beside the point. If I can at least turn it into yarn. And that's part of the reason why I'm like, I really can't spend a whole heck of a lot at Maryland Sheep and Wool, especially on fiber, because I have fiber. I have fiber. So that's what's making me happy. Another thing is that I started teaching 3 new classes. Well, new as in it's new sessions for the classes at Fiber Space last week. I am teaching 2 beginning knitting classes, one on Saturday and one on Sunday. So I taught one earlier today. Those knitters know how to purl. Yay! And they're all great. Like, both my beginning classes are so great. And after my beginning class tomorrow, I teach a socks class. So that's actually a really cool class because I've got 2 people in it. So it's almost like it's an extended private lesson. So tomorrow they get to learn how to knit a heel flap, turn a heel, and pick up gusset stitches and start doing decreases. So they can actually knit their foot. And we can do the toe next week. So yay! Love doing that. It really, I mean, teaching knitting makes me so happy, and yeah, so yay. And I am a proud knitting teacher. I really, really am. Also, what's making me happy is, and I had something that I was like, oh, I'm going to put this in the what's making me happy, and I can't remember it right now. But also what's making me happy, it's playoffs time. It's Stanley Cup playoffs time, and we're in round 1. You guys know that I'm a Caps fan, as evidenced by jersey. I have a few. I've got like 3. Player jerseys, I should say. Yeah. I am Our first game was on Wednesday. We are playing the New York Islanders in this round. It was not a pretty game. It was really not a pretty game. Last night was the second game of the series. And of course, yesterday morning, Twitter basically exploded because our goalie, our number one goalie, who we've basically put all of our hopes on for this year, was out sick yesterday. And they basically said, we're going to wait until game time, but we've recalled a goalie from the American Hockey League. After a shaky start yesterday, we won. We came back from at one point we were 3-1. We were obviously losing 3-1. We came back and won 4-3. So yay! I know for you non-hockey fans, you're like, why are you talking about this? Whatever. You guys know how much I love hockey. The first goal that we scored last night, scored by number 27, Carl Alsner, one of my favorite players. I was very, very happy. Caps fandom as a whole, we were all thrilled. I was especially thrilled because it was Aussie. So yeah. If you're friends with me on Facebook, I love you guys. Sorry for all the hockey, but that's just what happens. It's Stanley Cup time. So we'll see. Tomorrow's game is at noon. I will not be able to watch it. I will be at the shop teaching. I have been told that I will get updates. I will be wearing my Winter Classic jersey and the same t-shirt I wore last night because I am superstitious. I will also be working on a blanket square during class because that is just what I do. And if you've noticed, I have a new shirt on. This is from Fibre. Danielle, the owner, posted about it yesterday on Facebook and on Instagram and on Ravelry, and yeah, I saw it and I had to have it. It's an ICD number. Knitting and crocheting. So yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, I know what I wanted to say as a last little thing. And this one you might want to earmuff the kids because there will be a word mentioned. Not an awful one, but still. So I was, trolling around on YouTube, or I was on Facebook actually, and I follow, I liked a few pages on different historical things and monarchs and stuff because that's just what I'm interested in. And so I want to say the Tudor, who I adore, I think she linked to a clip from a show that's on Sky TV in the UK. And it was Mary Queen of Scots, and she was at a psychoanalyst, and it was awesome. The show is called Earmuffs, if you have not earmuffed the kids by now. The show's called Psycho Bitches, and it is basically a therapist who is having sessions with famous women from history. And it's awesome, and YouTube only has anywhere from 2 to 5 minute clips. Apparently, they've got one on Lucille Ball they only had one bit of. I'd like to see the whole thing. If any of you in the UK want to hook up a girl in the US, because it's not available anywhere here. I know, the whole player issue. But that's been my thing, and I've been basically searching and seeing if anybody's uploaded anything else because it's kind of funny. It's really funny. It's somewhat crass in some cases. If you find the Mary Queen of Scots one, if you decide to look it up on YouTube, just enter the name in the search bar. If you want to find the Mary Queen of Scots one, because that was hilarious. There are two people, Sky Arts has the five, like the clips, and they are all, for the most part, words are taken out. They're cleaner. The Mary Queen of Scots one, the only one that I could find was not Sky Arts. It was somebody else who uploaded it. It was not for children. The language was not for children. Hilarious. Highly recommend it. Because if you know me, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Have a great weekend, everybody. What's left of that. I'm going to get this edited and uploaded tonight, hopefully. So you guys will have this on Sunday. Hopefully. There's no game tonight, so I can concentrate on that. Have a great week. Hopefully I'll be able to record next week. If not, it'll be usually, week after. But I want to definitely record once more at least before Sheep and Wool. So yeah. So have a great week. I'll see you next time. Keep knitting, spinning, crocheting on. Bye.